Hello everyone and welcome to EPR's Power Talk series on T&D Infra, a promising outlook. India's transmission and distribution sector is facing challenges from its weak infrastructure, which leads to T&D losses affecting the power sector badly. This demands for reliable power delivery, efficient monitoring, control and sustainable infrastructure. The government is keen on improving the overall T&D infrastructure with the introduction of smart technologies and solutions across the country. New initiatives on smart grids, automated substations, smart measuring solutions, and renewable energy will create a new efficient T&D infrastructure in the country. This is going to create ample opportunities for technology, solution, and service providers in the future. Today, our respected speakers will be sharing their outlook on transmission and distribution infrastructure. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor and privilege for me to introduce you to our today's distinguished speaker, Mr. Anil Sabu, President of EMA, Mr. Vikram Gandotra, Vertical Market Manager, Utilities and General Manager, Strategy and Marketing, Digital Grid, Smart Infrastructure, Siemens, Mr. S. Dhanapal, Chief Manager of Power Grid Corporation of India, and Mr. Vinit Mishra, Director, EY LLP. We believe that a speaker's contribution to this field is unparalleled, and this thought-provoking talk on this topic will be of great benefit for us as well as our viewers.
Let's begin the discussion with reviewing the current scenario in T&D infrastructure, the basic scenario. So research reports indicate that India is still facing a huge power loss of around 20% in transmission and distribution. So according to you, what are the key reasons contributors to this power loss?
These are largely commercial losses. Technical losses count is very low. And now what we have seen under the scheme of RAP-DRP, IPDS, DDY-UG, system has already been strengthened. So I would not count personally on my behalf, though I haven't done any technical slow study around it. Except network strengthening per se, network is pretty much fine now. So I don't think more than 4-5% or 4 to 6% technical loss. Rest all are largely commercial loss. So that's why we are bringing these kind of schemes that smart metering and all, where we are trying to focus. And one more point which I would like to highlight. We are talking about overall 20% losses. It's an overall number. If we segregate it between less than 10 or 15% and more than 30 or 40%. So we need to clearly see these two buckets. And we need to target more than 40% because significant segment in India is having less than 15% losses. If you talk about cities like Noida, cities like Ahmedabad, AES and all, they are sitting, and Tata Power, they are well within one digit number now. So we need to clearly address the area where losses are more than 40%. And even I was sharing in different forum and I put my article also, where we need to put a smart meter. So it's not, we should not put a smart metering across all. We should put a smart metering where losses numbers are within the range of 25 to 40% or 45%. Because if losses are more than 45%, utility knows it very well. This particular segment is having more than 45%, but unfortunately, due to lack of administrative will, they are not able to control that. And if you put a smart meter, still you can't do anything. So you can control the segment where 25 to 45% losses are. So largely these losses, coming to your specific answer, largely these losses are commercial losses.
Got it. So as you said, we have to focus on the larger, loss-making areas and come up with a solution. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Vinit. It is essential to replace or upgrade old infrastructure and equipment with new advanced ones to improve performance of a system. That's a universal thing, in fact. So, Mr. Anil, when it comes to T&D infrastructure, how challenging is this currently?
Very good question, Sudhir ji. You see, we have to address the right problem. The problem is that for entire country, even we recommended to Power Minister and Prime Minister webinar also, that there has to be one design, one specification, one common testing system. So everything, if you will create for every equipment, then what will happen that the cost will come down, you will get the right technology, and everybody across India will be getting the right from the beginning. Instead of monitoring the system, if you design well, then monitoring you will require less and less monitoring, and you will unnecessary. That is the first step which we should address, and that will really, it will take time, but it will solve our problem. So that is the one thing I would like to insist upon. It will really result in quality power. It will reduce our maintenance, and the system will take care of, with the help of, as Vinitji also rightly said, that we need to have real-time data and real-time action. Nothing, data speaks themselves. You need not to say anything. The data will speak. You need not to say anything. So based on those data, we have to design our equipments, we have to design our systems, and then it will really create a world-class infrastructure. Thank you.
Yes, of course. Yeah, challenges are there. So definitely we need to have a continuous monitoring on the aspects, and accordingly we have to go on.
Mr. Sudhir, I would like to add one more point, and a very important point conveyed by Anilji. Unified specification. So as we are talking about 25 crore smart meters, so specification already published by CEA, but still it states varying from those kind of specifications. So it would be difficult for our industry to supply specific demand. While if we are having uniform or same kind of a specification across India, so we can understand that the rule of economy of scale, our price will go down, our supply will be prompt and faster. So very valid point, Anilji. I really appreciate this point. Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vinit. Next, I would like to ask Mr. Vikram, when it comes to grid infrastructure, there are many developments taking place, like smart grids, automation, automated substations, and more. So how effective are these developments currently? And what more is needed in this direction going forward?
Let me first say, when we talk about standardization, what is the voltage standard in India for domestic consumer? Is it 220 volt, or is it 230 volt, or is it 240 volt? For every product, it is different stamped. For every state also, it is different stamped. When even that voltage in India is not even same, we have a long journey to go before we talk for standardization for other things. Of course, as a manufacturer, I would love it if it is only one specification for the entire country and we just have to replicate that and make a product and do it. But the reality is that India is a very complex country. We all know. We have got so many stakeholders with so much baggage which comes from behind. Somebody brings a British system, somebody brings a US system, somebody brings maybe some system from the country only, but everything works. So we have to go forward. We have to, try to solve all the problems which are coming, and we would love if everything is standardized, but we have a long way to go for that. Now, coming to your question on how these developments are going to have an impact. Like any other industry, there are three aspects which are always very important for success. One is the technology, the other is processes that are followed by an organization, and third are the people who are doing it. Now, if we are going to do only one or two and do not take adequate care for the third, we will not reach to our final goal which we thought we were going to invest. However, over the years, we have done fantastic achievement, I would say, in terms of advanced networks which are there, where monitoring of system is done now. There may be at a different degree due to the different organizations' culture, due to the different organizations' ownership of the people of that technology, and the management. I take this forum to also highlight to you, for any organization to do well, we must have consistency in the leadership on top. We must have consistency in the thought process, which flows down from the top to the last man in the lineman, that what is the objective of this organization, and whether this person who is the head of the utility, he will continue for 3 years or so, or he will get transferred in 6 months. Yeah, so if he is going to be only for 5 or 6 months, his priorities will be different, and so will be everybody's down the stream. So there are a whole set of issues which will make sure that technology works. So once all the places are in place, technology does work. We have seen ample examples around our country over the last so many years, and more so in the recent years. Yes, whether it is in distribution, whether it is in transmission, Power Grid is a fantastic. It is a world-class transmission utility running such a large system nowhere else in the world with such a low failure record. Our distribution companies, like Maharashtra, it is the largest in the world after SGCC. Yeah, that distribute discom. Then we have got so many other examples. Small discom like Uttarakhand, fantastic work they are doing. We look at even private, of course, they are world class. If you compare their parameters with global parameters like Singapore or Europe or anywhere else, they are very well. They compete with them. So we have islands of success, of very good examples. Of course, it is not through not everywhere in the country, but we are on our way. And I think with the new investments which are planned, it will definitely have a significant impact on improving the quality of reliability of supply and delivery to the end consumer. Ultimately, we must always, whether we are in transmission, generation, or a manufacturer, we have to keep in mind what is the value that the end consumer will bring or see with this, whatever we are doing. Thank you.
Mr. Dhanpal, as you rightly mentioned, maintenance plays an important role. So, but in modernization plays a vital role in improving efficiency. However, regular maintenance is key to prolonged performance of the system. So can you shed some light on the current OM practices, operation and maintenance practices in T&D infrastructure, and what is more required going forward, especially in substations and grid maintenance?
Mr. Sudhir, actually, in fact, we are doing over maintenance in Power Grid. So we do extra maintenance actually. That's what I was telling. If online techniques are available, the maintenance philosophy itself we can change. We do monthly maintenance, we do 6 monthly maintenance, we do yearly maintenance, we do 2 yearly, we do 3 yearly, we have 4 yearly maintenance, we have 5 yearly, and we have 10 yearly maintenance schedules. But in spite of that, we have good track record of availability and failure rate, grid failures are less. But internally, if we see, since I am a Power Grid person, I know still there is lots of scope of improvement in the maintenance philosophies, even in Power Grid. What to say about electricity boards, that is different scenario. In Power Grid itself, a lot of things has to be improved, especially online techniques. See, when we have a setup for monitoring 236 stations from a remote center desktop from a single place, we should have every parameter from every equipment in my station, what is happening inside. That philosophy has to come. So right now we have a good maintenance setup in Power Grid, good maintenance schedule. We do wonderful maintenance actually. Even for GIS, we do 3 monthly PD measurement. If the system violates, then we go ahead with different scenario. If DGA, we monitor once in 6 months. If gas starts rising, we go for monthly maintenance. We increase the periodicity. We go for furon measurement. We go different measurements. These are all good, but these are all late measurements where we detect the failures a little bit late. So a 17 crore transformer, 500 transformer, why to lose of small mistake or small delay in sensing the DG. So that is what. So we do maintenance, modern maintenance techniques comparative. I can say with electricity boards. I'm not guaranteeing, but I can say our maintenance strategy right now we are doing very good. All upgraded maintenance we are doing, but still all are offline techniques. No online measurement technique is available, which is very economical and cheaper for our Indian context. Hope I answered your question.
The recent development in Indian electricity sector is the draft National Electricity Policy 2021. It is expected to be tabled and discussed in this ongoing Parliament session. Mr. Anil, from a T&D perspective, what are your observations on the new policy steps in this draft policy?
You see, the ultimate aim of this bill is to empower consumers to choose their power suppliers, and like it did with the telecom industry, private players would bring down cost and provide better service to all of us. That is the main aim. So, which means that apart from the cost, the quality power will be available to the consumer, and for which, there is a constraint with the government, they cannot invest to a limit, and they have been investing, but it was not rightful. So now they are encouraging private players to come in and to invest there in technology and the quality and well-designed transmission and distribution equipment. So in the long run, they will get the benefit by on the same infrastructure. They will get more profit, and the consumer will get the right quality of power with less cost. So that is the major aim of the government.
Thank you so much, Mr. Anil, for highlighting some of the positive points. So now it is a time to conclude this session. We have less time. In fact, we could have discussed more, but then anyway, it's time to conclude this session. Mr. Vikram, can I request you to sum up this session with concluding remarks?
Thank you. But my senior colleague is there, Mr. Anil Sabu. He is better equipped, I think. But coming to some, I think we have discussed very interesting points today from Anilji's point of view, the organization of EMA, how it is growing, how it is helping the power sector's growth, and what are the important areas that need to be looked at, and the future, how it will look. This is very nicely explained. Mr. Dhanapal, of course, got very good insights on the issues that are being faced, and for maintenance, it is very critical. Just now, the thought struck me: what is so special about power sector? Yeah, when you want to do maintenance of your car, you send it to the garage. You are not using it, and nobody's traveling in it. When you want to maintain the railway wagon, it goes in the night when nobody's traveling on it. But when you have to look after a power sector, especially transmission network, where 500 MVA transformer is live, then you cannot take any chance. You can create havoc in the grid, and the repercussions are there for a whole lot of people to understand how to avoid it. So that is the difference with power sector, and he has very nicely brought about some needs which are there as a user and owner of an asset, which I think Anilji will agree we should take it to the industry and try and find solutions. What we can do to improve the asset maintenance and bring in real-time technology. And Vineet, of course, He's a real very big, I would say, he explained to us totally how the journey from RAP-DRP to IPDS has happened, and how the distribution sector, it is going to see a massive, change in terms of the metering, and how consumers are going to be more empowered. That is the ultimate aim. And we look forward to whatever other changes which Vinit will, I think, share with us in the coming months or weeks, so that we are all well prepared. And ultimately, we all, as a sector, we are live and vibrant and sustainable, and do profitable business at the most economic price for end consumer. That's my take on this.
Thank you.
Very well concluded, Vikram. Good one.
Thank you, sir.
One point that we could not, Vikram could not conclude the point, but Vikram conveyed very pertinent point how the technologies are emerging and taking shape in the sector itself. So very nice presentation, Vikram, which I'm saying for on behalf of the panelists also.
Thank you, panelists, for exchanging your valuable thoughts on T&D Infra, a promising outlook. We hope you enjoyed this session. Before wrapping up today's session, we would like to thank our distinguished panelists, Mr. Anil Sabu, Mr. Vikram Gandotra, Mr. Dhanapal, and Mr. Vinit Mishra. I would also like to thank our executive editor of EPR, Mr. Sudhir, and our editor, Mr. Prasad Nair, for taking this initiative. So with this, we would also like to announce the closing of today's session. I request you to stay tuned for more such sessions. Thank you and goodbye.